Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. Got another request from Miss Jennifer Harrison. Hey, and I always enjoy seeing her name show up because she's been right there, man, through thick and thin, and always been supporting this channel. So, what she wants me to react to is a Renee Geyer, and I've reacted to Renee before, and this one's called Midnight Train to Georgia. And I will tell you, I know Miss Geyer can sing, but she pulled this one off, man. That's just going to show the level, of her professionalism. She's very very good at what she does. So I'm looking forward to it. So let's get into the intro and right into the video. All right, y'all. Here we go.
Demo of mine. But anyway, actually they'll do it when I'm alive to really pay me back.
So far, so good, man.
You know this? LA proved too much for the man. Too much for the man. He couldn't take it, so he's going back to a life he once knew. He said he's going back to find. Going back to find. Ooh, simpler place in time. A world he left behind. Not so long ago. He's leaving on a midnight train to Georgia. On a midnight train, yeah. Said he's going back to find. Going back to find. Simple place in time. Place is gonna be right by his side. I'm gonna be there with him. I know you will. On that midnight train to Georgia. On a midnight train to Georgia. I'd rather live in his world than live without him in mine. His and hers alone. He kept.
All right, man. Renee Geyer in the house. I think she said that something about being she sounds like a 65-year-old black man from Alabama. And I don't remember the exact quote or how it came out, whether she said it or somebody else identified her, described her. I guess I could say, but yeah, man, she's got a lot of soul in her, to be this this older white lady, and I don't have any, so she's carrying the flag for the rest of us, but she's doing a great job, man. I think this was now that I'm listening to her backup singers, I think this was a Gladys Knight in the Pips song, and in fact, it might even say that on there. That'd be dumb for me to. I don't see it, so I'm clear. But yeah, I like it, man. She's very talented, very very talented, and I just like everything about it. Let's get back to it.
He kept dreaming that someday he'd be a star, superstar, but he didn't get far. And he sure found out the hard way. Dreams don't always come true. So he found all his home aboard. All aboard. Midnight train to go. On board. On board. On board. Midnight train to go. All aboard. All aboard. Midnight train to go. I got to go. I got to go. Got to go. Midnight train to go. All aboard. Midnight train to go. Got to go. Got to go. Midnight train to go. All aboard. All aboard. Midnight train to go. Here's the world, my world, our world. Jesus, he's the Lord. Our love, all aboard. Midnight train to go. I got to go. Got to go. Got to go. Our love, all aboard. The midnight train to go. Our love, all aboard. Midnight train to go. Our love, all aboard. Midnight train to go. Our love, all aboard. Georgia, he's leaving. Said he would.
And, yeah, just pure perfection, man. The backup singers are just A class, man. And the band, holy cow, man, they kept that thing note for note from the way I remembered hearing it, from the original people. And so they, yeah, this is really nice. Just a fast Mike story, I guess. You know how she said that L.A. was too much for the man, and so he was going to head out. So when I joined the Marine Corps, I went to San Diego, California, from Southeast Oklahoma to San Diego, California for boot camp, and that's where everybody from that part of the United States goes to boot camp. Marine Corps only got two, if y'all didn't know. One's on the East Coast and one's on the West Coast, and I went to the West Coast. And once I got done with boot camp, then I had to go to a school that I was gonna take. I had to go to school for the job that I was going to have in the Marine Corps, and that was it. Actually, I went from San Diego, California, got stationed to Millington, Tennessee for aviation, and was there to sometime in 1979. So I went out there in 78, and then 1979, I graduated from the school. I picked up my wife, believe it or not. I was only 19 years old, already married, and she was still in Oklahoma. So I drove from Tennessee through Oklahoma, picked her up, and we packed everything that we owned, things that people had given us and all that, to include a big old, y'all remember the size of the TVs, what they used to be. I think this was 19-inch, but the thing was as deep as it was wide because of that picture tube. And we put that in the back seat. We had a 1976 Chevrolet Monte Carlo, and that hood on that thing, you could land a helicopter on it. It was so stinking long, but it had a sunroof, man, and it had air conditioner. It was the first car I owned that had air conditioner. But anyway, we put pots and pans and that TV and dishes and towels and you name it for what you needed to start out your life. We had it all packed in the back seat and in the trunk of and all our clothes, and we set out on a road trip to go from Oklahoma to back to California, is where I was going to get stationed permanently, El Toro, California, which happened to be like 30 miles from LA, give or take. It's not even called El Toro anymore. They changed the name of that town to Lake Forest. But and the base I was at, El Toro, it was the best base in the world, man. And they ended up closing it down after I got orders to Dallas. But long story short, or a long story that I'm trying to make longer, maybe. But when we drove out there wasn't any housing on base. You had to put your name in a list, so there wasn't anything available. But what they had is they had this list of apartment complexes that had contracted with the Marine Corps, to provide for a certain amount of money, provide furnished apartments for these young Marines like me. And so we took one of those apartments. Obviously, we had to live somewhere, and it was like 2 blocks from Disneyland up in a place called Anaheim. And we lived off of Catella Road and Tibbs Circle. I'll never forget that, man. And it was a furnished apartment. We didn't have any furniture, and we stayed out there probably 6 or 7 months. And but I guess the reason why I'm bringing up this story is I had and so did my wife at the time. She got a job on base too, because it took 2 incomes to survive back in the 70s, especially in Southern California. And we would have to drive from Anaheim to Orange County, down there, El Toro now, which is Lake Forest, and it was wall-to-wall traffic. And I will tell you, listening to this song where it says L.A. proved too much for the man, that's just about it. It about proved too much. Not that I couldn't handle myself, but it was a different type of people from where I grew up. I grew up with just, men who are men, and families that, stay together for forever. And I went out to LA, and holy cow, man, it was an eye opener. But I ended up staying out there for 8 years before I got orders, back to Dallas, Texas, and I've been here ever since. Even though I've deployed in and out of here, when I was in the Marine Corps, we were based here, but I would deploy, everywhere. While I was in Southern California, we finally got base housing after about 6 or 7 months. And then, when I went overseas, my wife was living in base housing, so there was nothing to worry about. But yeah, man, I told you that whole story just to tell you, but I relate to that one line, LA proved too much for the man. But here's the deal, man, you can't quit. When it's something like that, when it's tough, then you just dig in, and you beat whatever it is that's thrown your way. And I did, and ended up enjoying my time in Orange County. But I was sure glad to get back in here to the southern state of Texas, and closer to my parents at the time. All right, y'all. I made that whole video a long time, and you guys say you like hearing my story, so hopefully I didn't bore you. Okay, so that's going to do it for me. So till I see y'all again, I'll catch you down the road. Bye, y'all.